What is up, everybody? Welcome on in. As I'm sure you got a quick glimpse just now before the intro video played, Jon Impemba, my guest today. The Friday show, I just bring on my friends. That's been the strategy all year long. And what we do is we hit on all the top matchups and we make an FFPC lineup. I see some of you guys are in here early, throwing a couple questions in. Throw in some questions. We'll try and hit on them as best as we can as we go through this. But the goal today is to give you all the tippity top chalk matchups for an FFPC lineup, and we're going to go in and make a team. For those unfamiliar, here's how it works. No salary, no draft. We're just picking the top players. One rule, no using two players from the same team, no stacking. Let me introduce him here. Jon Impemba, the guy that runs Fantasy Alarm and one of the sharpest minds in the industry here, the QB guru. Yeah, the very best, dude. The very best. A guy that you need to be following on the Twitter machine at jimpemba777, especially if you want to win in basketball every day, because you guys have been crushing it over there.
Yeah.
Johnny, what's up, man? How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, like obviously a lot going on with the cross sports right now. You and I got to enjoy a little Patriots victory, number 9 of the season last night. So we had that going on, which is good to see. But now we get towards week 11. Again, it's crazy to think about. I say this all the time whenever I do a football show. All the work and preparation we put into getting ready for the fantasy football season, and fantasy football playoffs are like 3 or 4 weeks away, depending on your league format. It's kind of already kind of here and gone. But yeah, you can always win some money in these weekly and daily leagues still if you're out of your seasonal contest, and FFPC kind of gives you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's great. That's why we love it over there. If you want to get set up, use promo code ALARM. They'll give you $25 when you deposit $35 or more. My suggestion, folks, is to first scan this QR code, and then instead of depositing 35, deposit 45. Why? Because the main contests that we always do are $35. You deposit 45, they give you 25. That gets you 2 entries into this contest. And it's a lot of fun. I especially really like the playoff version of this.
Yes.
Because you're doing the same thing, but it counts for the entire playoffs.
I almost won the year it was Chiefs-Eagles first Super Bowl. I almost won the entire FFPC first man event. I ended up coming like tied for third with 1 billion people and won like $5,000. Yeah. But it was insane. I had forgotten actually about it, and then I checked, and I ended up having Kelsey in the final Super Bowl, which obviously helps the FFPC format. If I had like switched and had like AJ Brown or something like that, it would have given me the leverage I needed there. But huge proponent of the FFPC playoff contest.
It's the best, dude. And this is just a smaller microcosm of that. We're going to be doing all those contests here as we always do. And Rod, you can get questions in. Absolutely. We're going to do our best to hit on them. Unlike yesterday, which is just pure questions, we're actually getting through, and we're doing something for the general people here. We're building a board of all the top plays, and then we're going to make a lineup. So we're going to do our best to hit questions. No guarantee on that. We will guarantee, though, that we'll hit the member questions. If you're a member like Rod Elliott is, we'll definitely get to yours. We see some people jumped in here before the wire. Audie Coop giving a shout out to Uncle Howie, who was a Patriots fan for one night yesterday in his for all his pick'em contests. So nice. Good for him. Ashley in Wonderland got in here before we even did. She wants to know Baker or Flacco this week, John.
I'm gonna go Flacco over Steelers.
Yeah, I mean the upside is huge for both those guys, and we'll get into it in when we get to the games here. But I like Flacco a lot. He's been great. I have no problem starting Flacco rest of way and stashing Burrow if you can, and just kind of doing that. DM, who's a member here, says, "Good morning, family. Best prop bet for this weekend. Missed one parlay last night by 0.5 rush attempts. That's tough, man. Is there anything you're leaning on, John?"
I haven't dived into my research quite yet. I do have Howard and I will be recording the betting playbook show a little bit later on this afternoon, and then I'll have my Sunday football picks out as well. So I don't really have any like initial leans. I would say Flacco over pass attempts is generally a pretty safe one. If it's under 40.5, I've been pretty much just hammering that week in, week out. Set to probably throw a lot this week against Pittsburgh as well. Let's see. Flacco pass attempts. We are at minus 100 on 40 plus. So it's probably at like 39.5 for his pass attempt. So I'd take the over Flacco pass attempts there.
And that's what makes him such a good start in fantasy too. because the books are saying this guy's probably going to throw 40 times.
Literally, they're going to have him over under 39.5. So they have him throwing 40 times in this game. Yeah.
Beautiful. Dude Love wants to know win clinches a bye, which is huge. Second RB is a mess, though. Monangai, Singletary, Tajay Spears, or Sean Tucker in half PPR.
Calvin Onga is probably the right play there, but I tell you what, if they give Sean Tucker another like 9+ carries this week after what he did last week, and he had a decent role the week before that too. If they start to increase the Sean Tucker carry workload, Buffalo can't stop the run. This could be a pretty interesting Sean Tucker in a Tyler Algier type role this week, and maybe he finds the end zone. So I would go Monangai or Tucker if I was picking one of the two there.
I like Tucker, man. I think you got a good call there on that one. Good read on Buffalo and what you got to do against them. And he has been getting more work lately. And Singletary, in some weeks, is going to be a good like touchdown dart throw, but not against the Packers. So I'm with it on that one. Last two here real quick from members, and then we got to jump in and get started on this thing. So Fred here wants to know, need a QB. Please rank Brock Purdy, Jacoby Brissett, Jameis Winston, J.J. McCarthy.
Probably have Purdy, JJ, Brissett, and Jameis if I had to rank them.
Exactly how I have it. That's exactly how I have it on the website. So that's where we're going to. None of those guys are top 12 for me, but Purdy's the closest. And then
Purdy's on the QB coach for DFS this week, and he says his toe is fine. Purdy says the toe is fine to the point that he's not even going to be wearing the insert in his shoe this week. So should be good news there.
That's great news. Yeah. And McCarthy just has a good matchup. Brissett, I had to move him down once Marvin Harrison Jr. had his appendix out.
Yeah.
Caleb or Purdy?
Honestly, if Purdy's healthy, I kind of lean Brock Purdy here, truthfully.
Yeah. I have Caleb ahead as of right now, but I mean, if he says he's fully healthy, I mean, he's been good.
The thing with Caleb is the rushing yards the last 2 weeks have been really good. It's like 50 and 60 yards rushing. So that's just that is king with fantasy. You know, if you're a quarterback that runs the football, there's so much value there.
Right. I'd probably just go Caleb for this week. It's good to have Purdy, though, on the team.
Yeah. Road versus Minnesota, right? Is that the matchup for them this week? Or are they home?
They're on the road. That's on the road in Minnesota, in the Dome. So I like Caleb there. Happy Friday, FA. Pick one. Odunze or Shakir. Also, Judkins, White, Mason, Spears, or Achan. Oh, yeah. Okay. So he has Loveland. Sorry. Sorry. I was reading the wrong question there. First wide receiver. Odunze or Shakir?
I think I go Shakir.
Yeah. Even half PPR, I mean, he's been their most reliable player.
But he's been their best wide receiver. So.
No Dalton Kincaid either, so he'll pick up a little more over the middle. And then pick one RB, Etienne or Vidal. I'm very close.
Yeah, I'll go Vidal one more time here.
That's where I have it too. All right, this is the last one before we get in here. Trade Charbonnet for Gadsden. He has Loveland. His RBs are Achan, Judkins, White, Mason, Spears, Sharps. So not super deep, but
I almost would never trade a running back at this point in the season.
But Gadsden, I mean, Sharps is just a guy that you can't really trust, though. Gadsden's you would start Gadsden every week except his bye coming up.
Well, that's the other thing. Does Loveland? I guess you just play Loveland on the bye week.
Well, bye week's next week, so you play Gadsden versus Washington. Then you'd have a bye, and then you have a very favorable schedule for Gadsden. I will say: Saints, Jets, Steelers, Bengals.
The running backs there just aren't great either. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Like Achan and Judkins are fine. White's gonna eventually lose a job when Bucky Irving comes back. Mason's okay. Spears is okay. So.
Yeah, you really don't have enough depth to be trading away a tight end. I would look to the wire and see what's out there, Lex. Let me know.
Loveland's been good. Komet played last week. Loveland still had the targets, and Loveland first round pick. Like they should go to him. So
they should go to him. Yeah, I would hold off just because you don't really have a lot of depth. All right, let's jump in. Here's how we do it every week here. I got this all set up with all the games that are on the slate. The morning game is not on the slate for FFPC. What we're going to do is we've got the over-under, we've got the spread, and then also based on that, we can figure out what the implied point total is for each team. Basically what Vegas thinks each team is probably going to be around in terms of scoring, obviously because we know what the over-under and the spread are. What we're doing is we're going to put all the names of players that we think are top options, and then we're going to pick from those options to put into an FFPC lineup. The thing with FFPC, this is what the lineup looks like for that, is it's tight end premium, it's PPR, and the only rule is you can't start two players from the same team. So we can't just go and put in Mahomes and Rashee Rice.
Right.
You can only pick one. So let's jump in. Tippity top chalk plays go onto the sheet here. So let's start with the Packers. Josh Jacobs, definitely, we at least need to mention his name, right? He's just been a star. I
Yeah.
think the over under this week for rushing plus receiving yards is 100. Anybody else from the Packers we'd even consider here?
I put Jordan Love in my fade section of the quarterback coach this week. So
Fade. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, it's like Tucker Kraft, when he was available, to obviously tight end premium, he was on the radar. But Luke Musgrave, maybe a streaming option, but not in something like this.
no,
What about
makes sense.
on the Giants with Jameis Winston? Is anybody that is
If Slayton was the play, I would kind of have some interest just because like
Right.
he's gonna throw deep, but Slayton hasn't practiced all week. So
Nah, I think we can honestly just skip right over the Giants. Because we're not going to use their kicker or their defense either. Let's jump to this next one here. Bears over under 48 against the Vikings here. Vikings are favored at home. On the Bears side, anything that intrigues you here?
I mean, yeah, kind of across the board. I mean, I think you'll have, whether it's Caleb Williams, Swift, Adunze, I think all three of those guys are fine.
Yeah,
I don't think any of them are necessarily like must plays for the week, but
they're in consideration. That's the thing, is we want to put anybody that's like anybody that we can create a narrative for them to be top 10, essentially top 10 running backs or wide receivers, and then top 5 quarterbacks or tight ends need to be on here. I wouldn't use Loveland for something like this, but
I agree.
Yeah. What about on the Viking side?
I think both wide receivers are in play, Jefferson and Addison. Obviously, for this format, you would just play Jefferson. So, but if you wanted to be different, like I think, which is what you kind of need to be on these things too. I'm sure nobody plays Addison, but he's as good at times in tournaments. So
the thing about this one is that with the lack of prices, I've found that being different definitely works, but only if you're like exactly right.
Right.
Like if you start a player that nobody else starts because he's ranked universally like wide receiver 36 and he finishes wide receiver 10, you actually still lose. Like he needs to be wide receiver
top 5. Yeah.
He needs to be like 5. Yeah, you need to have guys that you truly believe that can put out like that top 5, which Addison can. I mean, we've seen the guy have 3 touchdowns.
Do it, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but it's like the focus really in this, because we've made that mistake enough times. We need to be exactly right. Like just last week, Justin Boone was on, top 5 ranker with Fantasy Pros, really sharp guy. But for him, as a Buffalo Bills fan, he did not want to start Devon Achane. Yeah. So just by not having Achane in the lineup and him going crazy, we had no shot at winning.
Yeah,
you have to hit like the pure chalk plays and just try and get it exactly right. It's not like being sneaky. There's no points for being sneaky. That's kind of my point, right? So for us, we really just want to load this up with the true chalk, and we want to avoid the bad chalk. That's the other big thing, is that like you'll notice that like every once in a while there'll be a week where 28 out of 30 teams start Bijan, and then 2 teams don't. And if he scores like 5 points, those 2 teams might be the top 2 teams just because they avoided the bad play, But a lot of the times you'll see everybody uses Jonathan Taylor, and if he's bad, he's bad, but everybody has him anyway, so it doesn't matter. So that's kind of the game here. We're not going to use Aaron Jones, not going to use TJ Hawkinson.
No.
So let's pop in. We got a couple questions here. Start Woody Marks or ETN this week? Woody Marks trending up, but ETN's role's been good.
Yeah. I probably go ETN still there though.
Yeah, I have ETN.
Yeah, ETN this week. Yeah. Versus who they got? Who's Jacksonville have?
They have the Chargers.
Yeah, ETN.
Yeah, he's touching the ball like 20 plus times a game,
yeah.
and I still have Woody Marks within a couple spots of him, but I have ETN top 20. PPR, Metcalf, Pearsall, Parker Washington. We don't know for sure if Ricky Pearsall's going to play, do we?
Yeah, they do. They said yesterday.
He's in.
Yep.
Okay, so I mean, for me, just one, it's probably still Metcalf against the Bengals.
Yeah, Metcalf versus the Bengals. I mean, Parker Washington has had insane, volume, these last couple of weeks, but I would still go Metcalf.
Yeah, and Ashley did the right thing here. I should have pushed back a little harder on our guy Boone, but again, I always let the guest because again, I'm doing these every single week. Whatever we win, we split. So I always let the guest do what they want to do, Johnny. So if you want to put anybody you want in here, I'm not going to push back too hard.
As we've always said, you can't have allegiances when building DFS and fantasy lineups. It does nothing for you.
It does nothing. It really only holds you back. Like we wear two different hats. You got your biased homer hat. Like
Yeah.
during the game yesterday, I was rooting for the Patriots. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I wasn't rooting for Mason Taylor to score a bunch of fantasy points. Like
Right. Yeah.
I have two hats that I wear.
Hey, I had Mason Taylor in my showdown lineup last night.
Yeah,
So, it was all good.
I want to win too. It's
I
like
had John Mechie in fantasy spin. It's why I came in second.
right. There's two games going on for me. And that's why it's like you do get into those like arguments on Twitter because there's like the purest NFL fans, and then there's some people that just only care about spreadsheets. Like you got to try. I try to live somewhere in between and know when to take one hat off and put the other one on. Right now, you and me, Patriots fans on the show though. I'm wearing my Gronk jersey. Big shout out to the big man who was in the house yesterday.
You gonna buy yourself a Nor'easter jersey, or what's the deal?
I mean, I might have to now.
You live 10 minutes from the pro shop. You can swing down there and pick one up.
Right over, dude. I was nervous. If they lost, I didn't ever want to see one again. But I mean, how many Travion Henderson Nor'easter jerseys are we going to see now after last night's game? Like,
no kidding.
Yeah, but the Drake May one might be the way to go.
I agree. It's longevity here.
Last question, then we'll jump back in. Oh, sorry, we had another one here. Worthy Tez or Michael Wilson in the flex?
I think I still go Worthy.
Yeah.
Give me the Mahomes.
I'm not going Michael Wilson because the problem with Michael Wilson is he's had a number of these opportunities and he's just not that great. He's not that productive.
Got Jacoby Brissett now, though. The better quarterback.
I know, but he's a good blocking guy. I mean, the conditions were really good against the Cowboys, and he kind of bailed us out with one big play.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really trust that guy. Tez, not a bad play, but I think you got to go Worthy for the upside. Yeah. Trying not to get any Bills players unless it's James Cook. I mean, that's smart because they spread the ball around a lot, So it's a very tough team for this format. Again, because we can only start one player. You got to have a Bill, but it's like, which one? On this game, Texans-Titans, 38-point over-under. Going to be tough to pull guys out of here.
Nico would be the only guy for me.
Yeah, on either side?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Miami Fairbairn playing? I mean, even with this low over-under, I don't know if we really want to start. You know who might be on the table for us is Texans DST.
Yeah,
right?
Texans
I'll
defense.
scroll over here because I have them ranked DST 1 this week. So
yeah, they're the second highest price defense in DFS. So
yeah. So if we don't use Nico, then we should probably just do that. I have no interest in Titans, do you?
No.
Buccaneers. I just ranked Cam Ward dead last every week, and it's been fine.
I don't think there's been many weeks where he probably hasn't been. So.
Last week was the first week I had to think about it because he was on bye.
Yeah.
Like I forget who I even ranked last because I had Davis Mills last, and then I talked to you and I moved him up a little bit.
Hopefully you played him. He's in the dartboard. Davis Mills is good.
Yeah, I forget who I had dead last because Tyler Shuck was on bye too. I don't know. Maybe I'll circle back and check on that. Okay. Buccaneers, Bills here. This is a good one. Let's start on the Bucs side. I will say this: I've had a very difficult time ranking Cade Otton. I do not want to use him even in tight end premium because the Bills are the number one defense versus the tight end in targets allowed, receptions allowed, yards allowed, touchdowns allowed. Like they are just the number one defense versus tight ends. I don't want to use Cade Otton. But if we are going to use a buck, what do you think?
I mean, Igbuka, obviously.
Yeah.
And then again, you say don't be sneaky, so you just get rid of the running backs, right? Like you're not going to end up playing White or Tucker here. So
well, that's the problem is that 5 weeks ago, before the Sean Tucker business started, I think we would be starting Rachaad White, right?
Sure.
Like a few weeks back, he's
probably
what?
But yeah, I don't think you can go anywhere else there. I'm not going to play Baker.
I don't think we're going to. Yeah. What about the Bills?
I would do Allen, Cook. That would be the two.
Yeah, Allen has been our move, and it's been a pretty good move.
It's consistent.
And it saves us from having to pick between the rest of these guys. So maybe we just do that. Sure. Panthers, Falcons here. On the Panthers side,
I don't just the running backs.
I don't think this is crazy. Yeah, Dowdle, Bijan. No interest in Drake London?
Panthers defense has been pretty good against the pass. They've been really bad against the tight end, though.
Yeah, I mean, that play right there, I believe. I'm a firm believer. And I've told people, I was like, and here's the thing about buy lows. People always ask you for a buy low. I tweeted a little something about this earlier. They ask you for a buy low, but they hate the answer when you give them a real buy low, John. You know,
They hate getting Kyle Pitts names. What you're saying?
Kyle Pitts, but any of those names that they like don't like the player, like it's like you're not going to be able to actually buy low unless people don't like the player. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows who the good players are that have like a bad situation, and you don't ever get a discount on those guys. You know what I mean? Like you can't ever buy low on like Jamar Chase or even Justin Jefferson. Like the guy with Justin Jefferson is not giving him to you for like nothing, you know? But like when you look at Kyle Pitts, he's one of only like two guys. It's basically him and Trey McBride that are top 5 in both route participation and target share. And he's 4th in receptions. And his schedule coming up is the Panthers, the Jets, the Saints, and then the Seahawks. If the Seahawks don't have Julian Love, they're also an easy matchup. I mean, like, people hate actual buy lows, but Kyle Pitts right now, if your trade deadline has not passed, is an actual buy low. So end of rant on Kyle Pitts. Sure. I don't know if we're going to use him here. We'll probably just use Bijan, but his name has to be said. Has to be said.
Yeah.
No London against JC Horn.
I don't think we end up going there. You can probably list him. You can list him.
Yeah,
he's worthy of having his name on the paper.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. One thing that we started doing, Rich Rebar started last year, is we even if we know we're not going to use a player, if he's good enough, we put him on there to ward off evil spirits. That's our way of like reverse jinxing it, is like considering him and then not using him. So make sure we protect ourselves from Drake London by putting him on there. Next one here, Chargers, Jaguars. Chargers favored by 3, even on the road.
Yeah, we don't generally love the Chargers on the road here, but I do think Herbert's a pretty good spot this week. Jacksonville's pass defense has been pretty bad. Probably then would go Ladd. And you've been a Gatson guy. He did practice today, so
he's been practicing full all week. I think he's against the Jaguars. The Jaguars are a little bit better against the tight end this year than years past, but still at best even matchup. Not a plus, not a minus. So Gadsden definitely on the radar for us here. And we're not going to go Vidal, you don't think?
Nah, I don't think the running back's the spot to go here.
There's enough running backs that we're going to have 4 or 5 guys, possibly between 3 and 5 guys from our top 10. So, that should be pretty easy. Jaguar side?
I don't really have much interest here.
I don't either, man. I don't either. I don't think there's a kicker play. I don't think there's a defense play. Not going to use BTJ. Nothing. They're doing nothing for us. And then here's the thing, though, is you got all these games coming up here with 49, 48.
Yeah, 48, 49 game totals. Yeah, you're gonna be looking at the next handful of ones. I mean, Bengals, legit, you can include, we won't end up playing him, but Flacco, Chase, those two for sure. Brown's fine. I like Warren more than Brown, but again, a guy that probably deserves to be on the
I think Warren actually, I have him ranked. I might have him like RB9 this week. Like,
dude, he had a huge game versus the Bengals last time, so a lot of people are gonna look to that. But yeah, those would be the 5. Flacco, I mean, Rodgers obviously had a vintage game in that matchup too, but I'm not gonna buy back in on Aaron Rodgers here this week.
The number, I'll tell you, with the Warren thing, well, we should put Rodgers' name on there just in case. Yeah. You know who keeps trying to make me use Rodgers' is Fantasy Spin. It's like it pops up and it's like, yay! And
yeah, because they got him ranked like 3rd or something like that, like fantasy points. So
I'm not doing that. So that's the gang here. And you know what has really disappointed me, John? The number of people that have come to me and said, use Pat Freiermuth this week, right? Because he scored 2 touchdowns against the Bengals last time. That's not how that works.
I was forced into a streaming this week, and I did pick up Freiermuth as a streaming option, but I didn't have there really was nothing else. So 14-team league, there really wasn't much else on the waiver wire to even add at that point. So,
I mean, basically this year you've got 3 games where Freiermuth scored the most points, 3 games where Jonnu Smith scored the most points, 2 games where Darnell Washington scored the most points. Then you had that game where Connor Hayward scored a touchdown. He scored the most. It's like Jonnu Smith runs the most routes each week. He's the guy, but if you had to pick one, it's a really bad situation. So
it's unfortunate that they had to go and get Jonnu Smith because Pat Freiermuth is a pretty good tight end.
That was upsetting. That was very upsetting, you know. And I'll tell you, in other platforms, like if you have to deal with salaries, I actually quietly kind of like Calvin Austin this week. Calvin Austin's gone out. He's playing a ton of snaps. So Metcalf ran 34 of 35 routes last week. Calvin Austin ran 31 of 35. He's gotten 6, 6, and 7 targets the last 3 weeks. I think in a matchup like this versus the Bengals, Calvin Austin is actually kind of a sneaky play. I mean, any consideration, not here, but like on other platforms? Have you been thinking about Calvin Austin at all?
I mean, I watched I edited and then published your streamers video, and you had Calvin Austin in there, so yeah, why not? Again, people are very high on Aaron Rodgers this week. Metcalf isn't going to. I mean, he could, but they're going to throw the football around the field against this Bengals defense. So I don't see why Calvin Austin wouldn't be a consideration for streamers.
Yeah, not for this, but for certain things. And and John's here today. Friday, I picked the guests, and here's the thing: had a lot of guests on, and we've done well. People coming in 5th, 6th. The only time we finished in the money though, it was Colby Conway. It was family. The family teams are doing the best so far. So I'm bringing John, level-headed, not scared to play the chalk, and we're gonna win. That's what we're doing this week. We need to get a win here. We need to get a first place W.
Yeah.
I think Jon Impemba is a perfect guy for this because we need no nonsense here. We've been getting too cute. Simple as that. We've been getting too damn cute with these lineups. This is the chalk of the chalk. For folks that might have just joined us or have never watched the show before, we're doing an FFPC lineup, which means there's no salaries, there's no draft. You can use any player you want with the one rule being no 2 players from the same team. So we can't just go out and start Joe Flacco and Jamar Chase. You have to pick one or the other, right? That's the one rule. So, I mean, wait till you see our lineup. It's going to be so cool, but it is a difficult road to navigate. And if you get too cute, you get crushed. So, we got to square it away, John. Square it away. Can you handle that?
Listen, like I said, you say no nonsense. I like to think we do a lot of common sense plays. We play the chalk. You and I, we play the Call of Duty game every now and then. I'm always like, we probably shouldn't be standing in the middle of the field here. We should gun and move. Like we're, it's all about the right strategy here.
Right. That's why I'm not making the final calls. Just like Call of Duty, I'm not allowed to drive. I've had some I've had some issues with that as well. I'm a little bit of a gunslinger. That's why we got John here. This is what we want today, John. We want the best, most high quality vanilla ice cream in the world. That's what
vanilla bean. Yeah, you need nice specks of vanilla bean in the nice rich vanilla ice cream. I'm all about it. 100%.
That's exactly what we want, and that's why you're the man for the job.
Thanks.
So that's what we're doing today. Yes, Dan, these contests are fun. Definitely get in. They've been getting more popular. So they actually are doing 2 this week. I think there's only 2 spots left in ours. So if you want to play against us, number 108787 is the number. I think there's only a couple spots left. Here's our team name, John. Promo code YT50.
I like it.
What do you think?
I like it.
If you are not a Fantasy Alarm member, we have a promo going right now. Use promo code YT50. They'll give you 50% off your first month. Or just hit that QR code right there and you can get set up and join the family and get in the Discord. But yeah, they got a couple of those set up this week. Go over there and jump in. This one, only a couple spots left. Then they have another one. They also have multiple different levels. This is the $35 30 team one. They have a 10 team one. They have a 100 team one. A lot of different levels depending on how risky you want to get. I feel that the $35 30 team one is the best combination of like winnability and reasonableness. Like when you win, you get like $500, which is great. Second place pays out $200. Third and fourth, you can either take $100 or you can get a $125 best ball entry for over the summer. So like it's and then I think 5th and 6th you get your 35 back.
Sure.
So the odds of kind of placing are pretty good with this one. So anyway, that's what we got going on. Here's some questions real quick before we get back into it. Otten, Jonnu Smith, Strange, or Musgrave? I think this is where I just go Otten, even with the bad matchup, right? It's like he's been getting the volume. I don't think they're going to fully sell out to stop him, Like I moved him down from where I've been ranking him like 9, 10, but I got him at 14. But he's still ahead of those other guys. You can't be starting Jonnu or Musgrave. And Strange, we don't even know if he's going to play yet. But even if he does, it's just, he's coming off serious injury, first game back. So Otten, right?
Yeah, I would agree with you. He's at least going to get targets.
Yeah. What about these DSTs? You got the tough matchup for the Chiefs. Chiefs got the Broncos. Cowboys got the Raiders, but they're a bad defense. Dolphins against
I still
Washington.
honestly might go Dallas just because I think Geno's live to throw interceptions, but
Yeah.
you have Miami in the overseas game, so maybe there's a chance, but
yeah. I mean, I just don't I don't think Miami has enough good players. And I'm not going to start Tennessee against the Texans.
Chiefs versus the Broncos, maybe.
I think the Chiefs is where I would go. Okay. I just play it straight with the Chiefs because the Cowboys are just not a good defense. They're really not. Should I trade Genty for Ladd and RJ Harvey?
No.
No, yeah, keep Genty. Just so folks know, the deadline each week to put players on the IR is Saturday at 4:00. So that's the deadline for J.K. Dobbins to go on IR if they're going to do it. I don't think Dobbins is going to play this week, but if
I saw that they said Dobbins is like an IR candidate. So
that's the thing is that he is. They're talking about maybe putting him on IR. They're seeing how he responds to treatment during the week, but if it's bad, they haven't. They can wait. You know what I mean? They don't have to.
What's their next? Is it McLaughlin? Is that their next guy there? What's the third back
after RJ Harvey? It's Tyler Bidet. Does the pass work, and then if Harvey would go down, McLaughlin would be the early down back probably.
Got it.
So, but yeah, they have until tomorrow at 4:00 to make that call. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm trying not to do any trades that involve Harvey until then. Like, I don't want to speculate.
Sure.
I don't want to speculate. Okay, next game here, Seahawks, Rams, 48.5 point over under. Rams favored by 3 at home. A lot of good players here. Do we just start JSN? Is that what we're doing?
I think JSN is it for the Seahawks, but for the Rams, you can go Stafford, you can go Nakua, could consider Kyron, even though that they're a really good run defense.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, we're gonna just start JSN and Nakua, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do. So I mean, I do really like Stafford this week, but I guess it depends on.
Well, I'm cool with starting Stafford too, because I mean, like Devontae Adams is the touchdown machine.
Yeah.
And that gives us exposure to everything,
Stafford's on pace for like 50 touchdowns this year.
I'm telling you, even though I'm a Patriots fan, and I want Drake May to win, and even though Jonathan Taylor's been awesome, like Stafford is doing exactly what MVP voters want to see. Right? Mm-hmm. All those years that Aaron Rodgers won over Stafford, over everybody else, it was for the same reason. He had the winning record and he didn't turn the ball over. So like if let's say Stafford finishes this year, right now they're 7-2. Let's say they finish at with only 4 losses, right? And he has 25 touchdowns, only 2 picks. Like if he throws 5 or fewer picks and they win all these games, I feel like the MVP voters would be going back on what they've done for years and years and years, right? Like I feel like
if they're the 1 seed in the NFC and he has 50 touchdowns and 4 picks, he's right. Going to win the MVP.
Right, for sure.
No matter what Drake May does, unless the Patriots are equally and the 1 seed, because nobody would have expected the Patriots to be where they're at. And at that point, you're just giving it because the more unlikely scenario is the Patriots being the number 1 seed. You give it to Drake May at that point. But from a statistical standpoint, you're going to have Stafford with far better passing numbers than Drake May. That's not even really debatable. The only we go down the path of other sports in comparison, but I always go back to the year Mo Vaughn won the MVP and Albert Bell had ridiculous numbers across the board and didn't win the MVP. It's like because the Red Sox were the best team in the American League,
right?
So
that's what I've been warning my buddies from home because they're all like Drake May's MVP guy, And I'm like, look, I'm just warning you right now that the exact thing the voters look for is what Matt Stafford did.
ESPN currently has, based on rest of season averages, Stafford to throw for almost 4,600 yards with 47 touchdowns and 4 picks.
Yeah, if he does that, if he throws for 45 touchdowns and 6 picks and they win 14 games, he's the MVP. Just based on what the voters have voted for every time. Every time. Last year, Lamar Jackson had the best stats for sure, and Josh Allen was the MVP. It's like And Stafford's been robbed of the MVP twice, in my opinion. Not robbed, even actually. He wasn't robbed. He was the guy that had the stats with a bunch of turnovers and lost to Rodgers, who had all those things. So if they're going to be consistent, then Stafford should be the MVP. Before we jump into the next game, let's see here. I know you passed on the Giants as a whole. How do you feel about Theo? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Ashley. If it
For
had
this
been
format, we passed on the Giants, but for like regular fantasy and for DFS, Theo's fine, Winston's fine.
Wandale's fine.
I wouldn't play Winston in regular fantasy football this week, but for DFS, sure.
Yeah, if there's salaries attached to it. And Theo, I have Theo ranked as a tight end 1 this week. If Slayton was out and Dart was in, I'd have Theo probably like tight end 8 because he's been good. He's had terrible matchups. So yeah, definitely worth a Dart throw. Flex Charbonnet, Shaheed, or Spears for Angie.
Shaheed.
Yeah, I have Shaheed as well. Salty, what up, dude? With what you guys just said about Stafford, should play him over Herbert? Not this week. Not this week with Herbert.
I think I would, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Stafford versus Seahawks. Dude, I mean, it's close enough.
It's at home. Their line's good. They have an elite wide receivers.
Yeah.
48 game total, 3-point spread. I think Stafford's going to have a good day.
He's great. Yeah. And yeah, he's
the Chargers on the road, they just haven't been great. So
Matt Stafford's viable in every format. Just look at the last few games for Matthew Stafford. It has been, I mean, what has he thrown? 15 touchdowns, and over the last 3 games, he's thrown 13 touchdowns and 0 picks. He hasn't thrown an interception in 5 weeks. And the touchdown totals in those games are 3, 3, 1, 5, 4, 4. In a couple of those games, he threw for 375 and 389 yards. I mean, Stafford rocks. He's a good player. Next game here, 49ers Cardinals, 48-point over under. 49ers favored by 3 on the road. 49ers side, Johnny.
I mean, again, Jennings was really good last week. They're getting Pearsall back. They have CMC. So obviously McCaffrey is going to be considered. Yeah. We're not going to play the wide receivers, but CMC's more in play.
And I'll put Kittle's name on here just because.
Yeah, Kittle's fine.
He's top 3 ranked.
Yeah, you're not going to do anything on the Cardinals, though.
McBride.
Yeah, okay.
In this format, in this economy?
Tight end premium, you're right.
Tight end premium might have to be the way. We'll figure out our tight end situation, but he's got to be in consideration. He's number 1 in every stat.
Yeah, as of now, I was probably playing Pitts, but I guess if we don't have a Cardinal, that makes more sense to play.
Well, the thing is, with this format, because it's tight end premium with 4 flexes, playing McBride does not necessarily stop us.
That's fair. You can play them both.
We'll see how it stacks up, because a lot of times we get to the end and we're sitting here and we're like, okay, well, we only have 1 spot in our lineup left. We can pick Pitts or we can pick Jamar Chase. That's sometimes how it rolls, and we just take Pitts out. But I wanted to give him a big shout out.
Yep.
Ravens Browns here. Ravens favored by 8.5 and only 39-point over under. So no Browns, right?
Yeah, no Browns. You would do Lamar here, and maybe Flowers.
Yeah, can't start Henry.
I wouldn't play Henry versus the Browns.
Not versus the Browns. This is also PPR, so not the best format for him either. We're not gonna play Andrews either. It's a bad format for him because he scores touchdowns but doesn't catch a lot of passes, and you don't get extra points in tight end premium for the touchdowns or the yards, only for the receptions.
Maybe Ravens defense, as bad as they've been.
Great call. Or even Tyler Loop, because we're gonna need a kicker. And I don't like wasting really good teams on kicker.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do that. Chiefs Broncos here. Broncos favored by 4. Do I have that correct?
That probably makes sense. Chiefs just lost. They're on the road.
The Chiefs
Broncos are 7-2.
No, the Chiefs are favored by 4. I have it backwards. Yeah. Sorry, everyone. I saw that. I was like, you know what? I'm not sure that's right. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Which I kind of want to bet the Broncos here.
I would consider betting the Broncos. You're just betting against Mahomes doing Mahomes things. That's all that
Which he's probably going to, but 4 points? I mean, I could see the Chiefs winning by a field goal. These games are wonky. These are wonky, bonky games here. So on the Chiefs side, what are you thinking? Rashee Rice?
Yeah.
I don't like Kelsey in this matchup. He's in the fade section of my tight end DFS
Rice,
article.
probably Chiefs defense,
Yeah.
but again, not great.
Yeah, and with no Patrick Surtain still on IR, Jim. Rashi Rice has a great matchup.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not bad matchup.
I would still go Rice.
It's Rice for sure. Yeah. So Broncos side. Do we go with RJ Harvey? Not a good matchup. But the upside is tantalizing. Right? What do you think, John?
I wouldn't play him.
Nah. But we'll put him on the sheet. And then Cortland Sutton's going to get Trent McDuffie. We're not going to start Franklin. We're not really going to start any Broncos.
I don't think there's much. Yeah, I don't think there's much
There's
for
not much
Denver.
there.
Be the kicker.
It's also a 20-point over-under, which like you start going through here.
What's the kicker there?
One of the lowest. I don't even know. Will Lutz?
I mean, it's in Denver, right?
Yeah. Will Lutz. We'll put him on. Okay. Lions at Eagles here. 46.5 point over under. Eagles favored by 2.5. Eagles are boring. Where do you have Hurts ranked this week, John? Can't rank him any lower than 5.
Yeah, I mean the rushing upside is always just prevalent. Obviously he had some good throwing weeks, so he's fine. Again, I don't really know. Barkley, you got to list Barkley, but you don't feel confident in playing Barkley right now.
Yeah, I don't. And AJ Brown could be squeaky wheel game, or he could be serious where he says, "Don't start me in fantasy."
Yeah, I know.
It's like I don't know. I don't trust Goddard. The touchdowns for him have been fluky. Has not got a lot of targets versus man. Not a lot of end zone targets. Like I don't know, man.
You just do St. Brown for the Lions.
Yeah, I mean this is the question every week, right? One of those two guys.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll start Jake Elliott. Because it's like, yeah, Gibbs or ASB. That's like that there have been multiple weeks where that one decision has decided, whether you win or not. Because it's like it's always between those two guys. I'm not starting Laporta. I'm not starting JMO. So yeah. And then last one here, Cowboys Raiders. The sports books are giving the Raiders a lot of credit here. 50-point over under. And the Cowboys only favored by 3.5. So
I think you put Javonte and a Lamb, right? And then Bowers to the other side.
Right. Bowers, dude. Yeah, the Javonte versus Lamb.
Genty probably deserves being listed.
Yeah, he definitely has to be listed. They're not listing any wide receivers or quarterbacks in this situation, or maybe Dak.
Nah.
So yeah, that's okay. So that's the squad for this week. We've made it through in record time. If we're gonna go through, what are some names that like really jumped that to you where you were like, definitely want that guy in this week?
Chase.
So we're gonna have Chase. We're gonna have let me just think back to my actual rankings. Because we're gonna have Christian McCaffrey. Right?
Yeah.
We start A-Chan against Washington's not on this slate. So are we doing Bijan or Pitts? Probably do Bijan, right?
Probably do Bijan, yeah.
Okay. Let's jump over and put a couple of these names in here. I like to start off. And again, folks, what we're doing here is we're making an FFPC lineup. So for those that have never played, there's no salary, there's no draft. You can start anybody you want, with the one rule, can't start two players from the same team. So if you've never played, scan that QR code, go over, use promo code ALARM. They'll give you $25 when you deposit $35 or more, and you can jump in. Wait till you see what these lineups look like. They're crazy. It's so much fun. It's so different from any other site that I really enjoyed doing it. And it really gives you a handle on who is truly a chalk play or who is a play where you're getting a little too cute. Like when I'm setting my own lineups, when I go through and I do these, it really helps me recognize just start Drake London. Against the Patriots, even against the Patriots, I was I'm just going to start Drake London because he's Drake London, so it does help you navigate through those minefields. So first we're going to put in Let's jump in and get Christian McCaffrey in
Yeah.
and Bijan in. And then we said Jamar Chase and one more top tier wide receiver that we're like definitely going to start.
I think Nakua, if we're not going to use Stafford, it would be the way to go.
Well, we're going to use JSN, right?
Yeah, JSN. You use probably Rashee Rice there.
Let's do JSN just to keep Stafford on the table in case we want to do that. You know, whoops, that's not good.
You close the screen. Coop.
Close the screen. There we go. We're right back. Let's jump in the chat.
I think we do Jacobs at running back as well.
I like Jacobs too. Okay, let's get Jacobs in.
Rather.
Jacobs in. I want to jump in, just hit these questions real quick.
Okay.
I love Albert's call here. Put in the Texans defense. I think that is.
I think that's where we kind of were landing, right? Texans defense or Nico Collins. So
I think that's going to be the move because I think this week, some weeks it's really thin. This week only 2 teams on bye. I think we're going to have plenty of options where we don't need to use Nico. I think the Texans versus the Titans is a good spot. Michael says, I have Atlanta D rest of season, looking to stash a defense for playoffs. As of now, I can get Saints, Tampa, Cleveland on free agency. I really do like the schedule for Tampa. I mean, they get the next 2 weeks is terrible. It's Buffalo and then the Rams. But then they get Arizona, Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins. I think that's the team I would stash. The Browns.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Tampa's defense isn't like great though, and you know, Carolina's been putting up points. The Dolphins, maybe they're figuring it out a little bit. Like,
well, the Browns get 49ers, Titans, Bears, Bills, Steelers.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think any of those are like stash rest of season.
Yeah.
Plays.
Okay. Well, the thing is, the Falcons you're starting the Falcons next 3 weeks minimum against the Panthers, Saints, and the Jets.
Yeah.
Week 14, they get the Seahawks. That's where you might be looking for another team. Week 14, the Saints. I mean, the Saints are on bye that week. No, they're not. The Saints have Tampa Bay that week, so you're not going to start the Saints.
No.
You might start Tampa Bay. Cleveland has Tennessee that week.
I mean, that would probably be a good spot.
Yeah, so I think either Cleveland or Tampa Bay. I would probably stash. I'll go Cleveland because they have a really good run defense. Devonta Smith and Gibbs for CMC as a trade for Daniel Hayes.
No.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I mean, what's the weekly difference between CMC and Gibbs?
It's 3 points.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a Devonta Smith away. CMC's averaging like 24 PPR points a game. Gibbs is a little over 20. Jonathan Taylor's at 27. So it's like, you know. Plus, CMC still has bye week coming up. That's something to factor in. Like, especially like you're going to be missing a full game of one of those players. If you're not like a lock for playoffs, you could be putting yourself in a bit of a jam. So let's jump back over here. We got to come up with. We should pick our quarterback. I think that's going to help us settle things here. We're not going to do Caleb. It's Josh Allen, Lamar, or Stafford.
I'd be getting Smith and Gibbs, you said. Then yeah, I'd do that.
Oh yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. Especially if like you're not locked into a playoff spot.
Yeah, CMC's got his bye. Like
he's got a bye. Yeah. I have Josh Allen ranked 1.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't want to use any other players from. Oh wait, we're already using. Let's just use Puka Nacua, and then that way we can take Stafford out of there.
Right. Well, then yeah, Allen I guess makes the most sense here. It'd be him or Lamar.
That's the question, isn't it? Your call, man. You're the guest this week.
Well, the thing is, like, my brain is obviously like seasonal in DFS. Like, I'm playing Stafford in a lot of things, but I want Nacua, so you can't play them both. So,
and usually this question boils down to like, oh, if we don't use Allen or Lamar, we'll use Henry or Cook, but I don't really want to use either of those guys.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Do we just go Lamar? Josh Allen doesn't have Kincaid. He hasn't been as good.
Yeah, Lamar. The thing is that Lamar is, I mean,
he's banged up.
Yeah, I mean, he was at full practice again today, but like, what does that even mean, like for them?
Right.
Would you go back to? Well, no, because we're gonna play CDS. Like, would you go back to Dak? I mean, we didn't even list Dak, but I mean, he did have that run of like 3 touchdowns.
We should put his name on the sheet. I think we should start Josh Allen now that Rashad Bateman's going to be out too.
Well, would you go? I mean, would you go Herbert? I guess if we're not playing right, because who else would we play from Buffalo then if we don't play Josh Allen? We Cook, and we're not
going to play the Bills defense against the Buccaneers.
No,
we're not going to use a kicker.
Could use the kicker, but not going to use the kicker.
Not going to use the kicker. Let's do it. Let's just do Josh Allen. We want the chalk. We want the pure chalk here. We don't want to get too crazy. Sure. All right. Okay. We need tight end now.
I think you do McBride.
We get him in there. I think that's the most level way. The most level-headed way to do it is put McBride in there, and then because we're not using Pitts.
Would you still just play Bowers?
I think we might. I think we should just do both.
It's tight end premium. You said right.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though, because now we scroll through the RBs and wide receivers, knowing that so think of it this way. This is the part that stinks.
I play Lamb.
Well, if we use Lamb, then we're not going to use a Lion at all. So we're not going to have Amon-Ra or Gibbs.
But I think I'd rather Lamb.
If we were starting a tight end premium lineup, let's say this is our team in the Big Gorilla, would we put it our flex? Would we put Amon-Ra St. Brown or Brock Bowers? That's the kind of the catch.
What version of Brock Bowers is showing up? Because 2 weeks ago he had 80 fantasy points. So
yeah, he literally broke this format. You had to have him. You would have lost. Is there anybody in this lineup?
Tell me, where's Bowers? What's Dallas? I mean, Dallas' defense has been horrific all season.
Horrific, awful. Is there anybody in this lineup that we should?
Would you get rid of Jacobs and play St. Brown or something like that instead?
That's what I mean. Is I would rank Gibbs over Jacobs.
Okay.
Or do we want to do St. Brown or Gibbs?
I mean, I don't. To me, it's just like they're on the road, and
let's just do Jacob. Let's just not start a Lion, dude.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Let's start their kicker.
They don't kick field goals.
They don't. You're right. You ain't gonna call the plays. Yeah,
they don't. They go for it on 4th and 8. There is no field goal kicker. Do we not have a Steeler yet?
We're gonna use Boswell.
Dude, Boswell's a beast.
Yeah, Boswell's a monster. All right. Well, I think we got it then. Is there anybody that we really, really, truly missed? It is we don't need to have Rico. There's nobody here that really is upsetting me. Oh man, yeah, Igbuka Rice.
But I mean, you're not gonna. Do you like them more than JSN or Nakua?
No.
And nope. Lamb's as good as they all are. So it'd just be whether or not you're double tight ending. And
that's it. That's the question.
And that game's got a 50 total. Dallas and Las Vegas.
Do we swap McBride out for?
I'm not sold on McBride. I get that he's a number 1 tight end, but I don't know, Jacoby Brissett. That
everyone on the planet knows he's going to get the ball every play this week.
Yeah. And again, what is Jacoby Brissett? We know what Jacoby Brissett is. He's had a couple of good games, but I'm not sold on him being a week-to-week consistent play.
I mean, he's 250 yards and 2 touchdowns every week, but that's obviously with Marv.
I mean, okay. Yeah, and San Francisco's defense isn't anything great, but if you go Bowers at tight end, now you give yourself another flex, which opens up.
It's a Lion. Yeah, this is where we get Gibbs or Amon-Ra in there. Is it Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yeah, probably.
Or no, it's Gibbs. It's John. You gotta make this call, man. This is.
I don't know, man. I'm not sold on the Lions here. They're on the road. It's cold outdoors. That's not Goff Central. That's a tough spot.
I don't think there's a running back. Would we, if we're not going to use Gibbs, I don't know if we're going to use Dowdle or Barkley. We're not going to use
No, I
Etienne
think you go back to wide receiver and
or
you
get back
you
to
go
wide
to that
receiver.
tier that we had looked at before with
Rushy
Igbuka or
Rice.
Rice or even Ladd.
Or even Ladd.
Ladd versus Jacksonville?
I think they got too many mouths to feed over there.
Yeah, but he's been cooking, hasn't he? Hasn't he been the dude for that?
Yeah, he has been. This full
4 for
PPR.
107. I guess if you don't think it's going to be competitive enough game, I mean, Ibuka is obviously really good against Buffalo. Buffalo's defense, which hasn't been great, and they're going to throw a lot in that game. You think it's going to be a shootout between?
Chat, what do you think? I mean, Igbuka got 12, 9, 13 targets. He's not really, oddly, has not been efficient catching them, though.
Yeah.
I kind of like Rushy Rice, man.
Okay, I am fine with that. I would not necessarily go against Pat Mahomes here.
Make the call, John. Your team. This is for all the money. This is the decision that's going to solidify it. Is it a line? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rushy Rice. If you were setting your lineup and you had this bench somehow, would you put in Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gibbs?
I think I would play. I think I'm playing Rushy Rice if I'm picking
Good.
one.
All right. That's it, folks. The people like the chat is on board with Rice. The chat has made the call here.
Yeah.
If we win big money, and we go to the expo and Dunn and Salty Bag of Nuts, you guys are in on a couple beers. Okay. So that's it. That's the lineup. This is what you can make over here on FFPC. George, real quick, has a question here. Play 2, half PPR. Tracy, AJ Brown, White, Flowers. Is it AJ Brown and Flowers?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a real lineup within the rules of this contest. Josh Allen at quarterback, Bijan Robinson and Christian McCaffrey at running back. Wide receivers are JSN and Chase. Flexes are Josh Jacobs against the Giants, Puka Nacua, Rashi Rice, CeeDee Lamb, tight ends Brock Bowers, kickers the Boz, and the defense is my number 1 ranked defense this week, Houston at Tennessee.
It's gonna be a fantastic Monday Night Football. What you and I are watching, waiting to win this. Where we have Brock Bowers and CeeDee Lamb to take it home for us.
It's going to be beautiful, man. It's going to be beautiful. And you can still technically change your lineup at the last minute. So if we need to get cute and pivot,
play Javonte.
If we're way behind and we need to try and pull a Hail Mary, maybe we switch in Trey Tucker and or we can switch in.
You just played Javonte Williams probably there.
We could go Javonte
or we could do Ferguson.
We could do Ferg and Genty. Yeah. So like there's maneuvers. If you're playing from the front, you leave the chalk. If you're playing from behind, you make the swap. That's kind of how we roll. So if you guys want to go in and get set up, again, use promo code ALARM at myffpc.com. They'll give you $25 when you deposit 35 or more. These contests cost 35, the one that we're in here. So if you deposit 45, they give you 25. That gets you into 2. And I'm telling you, Fantasy Alarm, last time Colby Conway was in, we finished 3rd.
What's first place in this pay, Coop?
500.
All righty.
Yeah, 500 for first, 200 for second. 3rd and 4th both get 100. You can also, they always let you swap out the prizes.
Like entries.
Yeah, so like, for instance, if you come in second, you get 200, or I think you can swap it for like one of their contests that's like 250 or something.
Sure.
If you come in 4th or 5th, you can do a best ball challenge for 125, and that's just more content. So we might do that. But anyway, thank you everybody for popping in. John, what do you got coming up rest of the day? I know you got the DFS.
What don't I have coming up the rest of the day, Coop? We have the NBA DFS show from 5 to 6. Bender and I are going to be recording both the NFL betting playbook for Week 11 and the NFL DFS show for Week 11. Basically, as soon as I'm done with this, so those will be out at some point today. So I'm going to be all over the site. We got some other videos coming out for YouTube, so you'll find me all over YouTube today. And of course, you and I are live 11 to 12 Sundays, every Sunday, answering all your start sit questions. So
yeah, that's when we'll be right back on this channel. If you're waiting on the YouTube, hit that like and subscribe. We'll be back Sunday morning answering every question from 11 to noon. So Johnny, thank you for popping in. Everybody out there, we really appreciate you guys, all the support, everything you guys have done. 10,000 subscribers, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So thank you guys so much. But until next time, we're out of here.
Adios, turd nuggets.